Hello everyone, welcome to the CryptoPotato YouTube channel. I'm sitting here with Yoni Assia, the CEO and co-founder of eToro. Hey Yoni, how are you?
I'm great, thank you very much.
Let's start by talking about the difficult times. Last year in 2018, many crypto-related companies did massive layoffs. How did eToro manage to survive the crypto winter?
So, luckily and smartly for eToro, we're a multi-asset trading platform. So on eToro, you can trade stocks, commodities, indices, currencies, and cryptocurrencies. And what we've actually seen across 2018 is a significant surge in the trading volumes across stocks and across equities. It was actually quite a good year. And 2018 was actually a record year for eToro. We did almost about $1 trillion in volume last year. And had sort of massive scale up personnel-wise as well as sort of setting up the infrastructure for launching the US, growing in Australia and Asia as well. So we actually had a very good year in 2018.
eToro recently launched a new company called eToro's, which includes an exchange as well as a wallet. Can you tell us a little bit more about eToro's?
Sure. So you need to remember that, again, first, eToro started as a broker of multi-assets. I fell in love in Bitcoin in 2010 and sort of started dabbling with it. We went on to that sort of rabbit hole with colored coins and tokenization in 2012. But it took a while before we actually saw a massive amount of traders actually trading it. So we had Bitcoin trading 2014, 15, 16, and not a lot of people actually traded it until 2017 when we saw the bull run. But we always believed in the future of all assets becoming blockchain assets or getting tokenized. For us, building eToro's was about building basically a structure of an exchange and a regulated distributed ledger technology company that would eventually enable the trading of all of the assets that we trade today on eToro to trade on a crypto exchange, on a tokenized assets exchange, and to have that part from a long-term perspective that we have the order market book, basically enabling people to trade and to add liquidity and bring on market makers, etc. The real unique part from that point of view of eToro's is that it's a part of a large fintech group. It's a part of eToro, it's regulated, and it's a part of our strategy to go into the tokenization of other assets. So you can actually trade on eToro's today, Bitcoin versus our 8 stablecoins. You can trade Ethereum versus all of our stablecoins. And throughout the year, we're planning to add more and more of these stablecoins. So on eToro's, you'll be able to trade both the traditional crypto markets, but also crypto markets versus stable coins and tokenized assets, and also tokenized assets versus other tokenized assets.
We've asked other crypto projects and we understand that listing a cryptocurrency on an exchange is a huge and intense process. How exactly does eToro decide whether to list a cryptocurrency?
Sure. So eToro as a group, we're regulated in many jurisdictions. So we're regulated in the UK, in Europe, in Australia, in the US for our crypto business, in South Africa. And now we basically launched eToro's under the Gibraltar distributed ledger technology regime. So Gibraltar was one of the first places around the world, one of the first countries that actually created actual regulation for distributed ledger technologies, which we believe was important because of the uncertainty of sort of what is regulated and unregulated in the crypto space. And we did want to be regulated because as a firm, all of our activities are regulated when we're offering stocks, etc. to clients. From that point of view, on eToro itself, we trade today 14 different cryptocurrencies, and we had sort of the logic of checking sort of the tokens themselves, actually issuing research on the blockchains that we listed on eToro, actually sort of testing the technology to some extent, even sort of compiling and running nodes of the blockchains themselves, as well as making sure we understand the security, cold storage, how do we use those blockchains and also looking at the liquidity in the markets of each blockchain. On eToro X, we're going to add many more assets. So unlike eToro, where we supported only the big blockchains, but roughly the top 14 cryptocurrencies, on eToro X, we actually set up a listing team based both in Israel and in China to actually talk to companies, to token companies who want to get listed on eToro. And we have basically due diligence process in which we study about the tokens, we issue our own internal research. What we want to understand and is that they're here to stay, right? So we're not giving our opinion that this is something necessarily you want to buy right now, but that we've done basic due diligence, that we understand the teams, understand the technology, understand what they're doing, and then we list them on eToro X.
It definitely seems like you've done a lot of research looking into how the proper way to list a cryptocurrency. Let's move to the next one. You've also issued several eToro branded stablecoins, which you spoke about before. How do you see their role in eToro and stablecoins for the future of crypto in general?
So we're looking at it a bit beyond stablecoins. We're looking at the tokenization of assets. So from the first time I started sort of, buying Bitcoin and sort of moving assets with Bitcoin, then I realized the potential of blockchain technology. And since at eToro we're connected to all of the big banks and we trade massive amounts of volumes, you understand that the current financial services industry is entirely broken. Everything is based on T+2 and T+1 settlement times. That means you do a trade, it actually settles and falls in your account basically 2 days after. If you think about the entire financial industry, it's always a T+1, T+2, T+3. That's basically the block times, right? So, in Bitcoin it's roughly 8 minutes, in Ethereum 17 seconds, some might be even faster. But that's near real time compared to the T+1 day. And I think that's a huge revolution for the entire financial services industry that most people still don't grasp the size of that revolution. We believe that within the next 10 years, we're going to see trillions of dollars, if not dozens of trillions of dollars, moving from traditional assets to blockchain assets. We call that process tokenization. One of the biggest markets in the world is the fiat currency market, right? So we started with tokenizing fiat currencies, but we'll be launching soon also commodities, tokenized assets, and we're looking at also tokenizing shares as well on eToro X. So when we think about tokenized assets, we see as a role bridging between the traditional financial markets and the new blockchain financial markets, and us as a player that has that expertise in both sides as the ability to sort of bridge between those two industries.
Absolutely. You've also listed several stablecoins on eToro. How do you see the role of stablecoins in eToro's platform?
So the way we look at it is, again, this new world of finance, the blockchain world of finance, enables new type of products to all of our clients. So we have today 10 million registered users, and we understand that the more added value products we give our users, they'll stay with us for longer. Right? And they'll be more happier with the variety of products that they get from eToro. So whether it's us adding stocks and crypto and currencies and commodities into the existing platform, from our copy trading features, which enables basically portfolio management features on the eToro platform to see the top traders and copy them, from a growth strategy, we want to add more products that add more value to our clients. The eToro wallet is a bit different than the eToro X exchange. It's similar that it enables deposits and withdrawals in all of the crypto assets that we support on both, right? So unlike the trading platform, which enables you to deposit with fiat money and then basically invest in crypto as you would invest in stocks or other assets, you can actually take now those assets that you invested in on the eToro platform and move them into the wallet. And in the wallet itself, you basically can send and receive crypto to anyone you want, to anywhere. It's a multi-sig, multi-blockchain, on-chain wallet, so you can actually go to a blockchain explorer in each of the blockchains we support, see the address, see the money is there. So it's truly a real blockchain wallet that's on-chain, that people can sort of experience that super interesting thing that when you look at a financial product from a company and suddenly you can go to Blockchain Explorer and see your assets there as well. Working on a sort of charity product or blockchain for good product at eToro called the Good Dollar, which is very similar to what I just said with Ethereum, just by creating a new cryptocurrency, which is about universal basic income. So one of the sort of killer apps we believe that are coming to the industry is massive sort of airdrops. Is really creating a platform where people can log in and sort of collect money, right, or virtual currencies every day, so they can actually use it, in anywhere and sort of hack the value of money, which I think is exactly what Bitcoin was. It was about this new technology and then a group of amazing entrepreneurs and community that sort of hacked and created the value to that technology.
So we know that Binance wants to be everywhere in the industry: exchange, DEX, launchpad, charity, academy, and more. Along with the exchange and the stablecoin announcements, eToro has recently issued a new crypto wallet. Can you elaborate on eToro's growth strategy?
So we're super excited about the tokenization of assets. I think our role is to bridge the gap between traditional financial markets and the new blockchain financial markets, to tokenize assets, to create a platform where new type of assets like art, property, intellectual property could be traded on. We just recently announced the acquisition of Firmo, which is a company in Denmark who created a formal verification language to create financial derivatives on top of Ethereum, but that could be also translated to other blockchains. So we're super interested in sort of what can you do with smart contracts, whether it's interesting projects like DAI, the MakerDAO DAI project, but I do believe coming from the background of financial derivatives and working a lot with other financial institutions, that smart contract can actually sort of accelerate innovation in the financial services industry 100 times, if not 1,000 times. And that's sort of where we want to be. We want to see how blockchain technology, how smart contract technology can really transition this entire financial services industry into the future.
Now let's talk about you for a second. You made a very wise decision back in 2012 to purchase Bitcoin for $5. How and where did you first hear of Bitcoin?
I actually started sort of becoming interested in virtual currencies in 2008. I wrote the concept paper on the Good Dollar in 2008, where sort of the two big things was we need a transparent money system where you can see all of the transactions of everyone, sort of like envisioning a blockchain back then. And then I also talked about the other part, which is sort of universal basic income, which is decreasing interest rate, right? Which is what is the Good Dollar project now. But when I looked at Bitcoin for the first time, my brother sent me an email saying, "Hey, look at this. This looks like what you're talking about in the Good Dollar." Then I understood that this is the future of how currencies should work, of how finance should work. This was 2010, and sort of diving into Bitcoin talk, talking to sort of a lot of the people that are still very much active. The only thing I really regret is not investing more back then, or getting my laptop stolen with my original Bitcoins. But I think throughout that process, we realized that this is a game-changing technology, and that we want to be a part of that process. We sponsored and sort of invented the concept of colored coins, which eventually we thought tokenization would happen on top of Bitcoin. Vitalik worked with us on that project, and eventually, obviously, he realized that Bitcoin wasn't meant for tokenization and sort of went through the process of setting up Ethereum. But even back then, we actually wrote code for a decentralized exchange on top of Bitcoin with tokenized assets on top of Bitcoin. So this was way sort of premature, because we're just seeing that happening now. And this was 2012. But this is the type of industry which I think really revolutionizes everything. So it's going to take time, and we're here to stay.
Is Bitcoin one of a kind, or is it part of eToro's risk management to invest in early stage projects?
So Bitcoin for us was sort of a one-off back then. It wasn't a lot of money, by the way. We invested like $50,000 of the range of $5 to probably $50. So it did give a nice sort of uptick and enabled us to sort of build the book of trading on eToro and sort of add more cryptos. So we are looking, when we're sort of launching new assets on the platform, we are a lot of times in touch with either foundations or companies behind those assets, and in some cases actually make an investment from eToro. So we invested in a couple of sort of ICOs or companies in the space, which include Blocks, which did an ICO. We invested in the Kin project. We invested in the Telegram project. So we do invest in projects where we believe now will either be synergetic to eToro, either through sort of working with them or through actually launching them on our exchange.
2019 so far has been pretty good for the crypto markets. Some refer to it as the rising hype around IEOs. Do you agree?
First of all, I do think we're seeing crypto spring. So everybody complained about winter, and I think, it's both springtime now, so people are saying happy springtime. So it seems like we're into crypto spring, touch wood. I think IEOs are interesting, but they have been here before. So IEOs were before ICOs. IEOs happened, even if I remember correctly, on BitterX actually before the ICO frenzy started. Then the ICO frenzy started with the smart contracts, and now we're sort of full circle to, okay, we need somebody to vet these projects and make sure that they get listed, otherwise there's just too many shitcoins. So I think the spirit is back in the market. The bulls are still there. Bears didn't kill the bulls yet. And I think we're seeing somewhat of a revival. We're seeing it also in our numbers. So we're seeing more interest coming now into crypto again, but we're still very, very, very far off from the hype that we've seen in November to December 2017. I think IEOs is part of it, but I think also part of it is that the fear sort of a bit got washed away. So people felt that the bottom has reached. Whether that's correct or not, we'll see in the future. But I think a lot of these new technologies are coming into play and people are excited about them.
Absolutely. What do you think about IEOs? Is eToro planning to do something in that field as well?
We're, one of our key values at eToro is innovation. We're a capital markets company, and we plan very far ahead. So we're thinking about can we integrate sort of new products into the exchange. As I mentioned before, we're thinking about areas like art, like property, very long-term believers in the industry. Not necessarily, immediately, but definitely something in the pipeline to expect.
Crypto adoption. Despite the growth, we are still not there yet. What do you think the major problem for Bitcoin and crypto is to penetrate the masses?
I think there's two parts. One is utility, which is what the hell do I do with Bitcoin, right? So when I used Bitcoin, one of the first sort of key usage I had was paying people, developers that I found on Bitcoin Talk to actually code stuff around crypto, right? So I paid Vitalik in Bitcoin back then just to actually code things for colored coins. So that's a great usage, but it's kind of a niche usage. How many people need money to send overseas to people that they don't know and don't necessarily have bank accounts, right? So it's relatively a niche market compared to sort of the entire payments industry, right, or remittance industry. But remittance is still fiat. So one thing is, I think Bitcoin and crypto still need to find themselves into more utilities. I think from the 2,000 white papers out there on the various ICOs, from some that I invested in. I believe that there's a couple of great utilities or killer utilities for blockchain and for crypto, but we haven't seen sort of good enough combination of user experience, technology, and product market fit. The second part, which we are firm believers in, is that one of the big barriers is people don't have crypto. And that's why we're building the Good Dollar project. And we believe sort of that people need to actually give other people crypto in order for more people to have crypto, right? And if more people have crypto and there is a utility, whether it's a micro utility, something you can pay 1 cent or 5 cents over the internet on, we'll see more usage. So you can think about it as some sort of a derivative of universal basic income, or you can think about it as part of sort of a movement to sort of have more people have crypto. But if every person who has some crypto would give to 5 other people who don't have crypto just a little bit of crypto, that will become viral very, very fast.
Absolutely. Just incorporating everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What is the next big thing eToro's working on?
So we're working very hard on our commission-free stock trading on the platform. We're launching across Europe and the UK, basically free stock trading. So whether you would go into a bank now with $100, you'd buy Facebook stock, they would charge you $20 to open, $20 to close. You're left with $60. They'd probably charge you another 0.2%. If you're in the UK, another 0.5% stamp duty. We're basically launching on our entire sort of assets, which is more than 2,000 stocks, basically commission-free. Everything is free. You can trade stocks for free. And that's very exciting for us. The other part is our clubs program. We are working very hard to sort of help our customers get a better experience as they grow with eToro throughout the sort of both crypto bull run and our growth over the past 2 years. We've suddenly found more and more of our customers becoming sort of diamond clients. So diamonds are ones with more than $250,000 in eToro. Platinum Plus are more than $50,000. And I don't know if you know, but we sponsor 9 football clubs across Europe. And we're inviting our big customers now to events, to football matches, to events across Europe, to meet our advisory board across the world and sort of get sort of deeper dive analysis both into the capital markets and the crypto markets. So we're very excited of growing together with our audience, both adding more products, giving sort of better pricing, free pricing to our customers, and give added value services.
And finally, the last question, the $1 million question. Has Bitcoin bottomed in the current bear market?
I've been trading stocks since I was 13. And I'm not necessarily that a good trader, but the markets, it's very hard to try and predict the markets, right? And even here at eToro, we're running artificial intelligence teams to try and predict the markets based on all of the data that we have, and we have $1 trillion volume data. But I do believe that we will see Bitcoin at much higher prices in the medium term. So again, but that's not surprising. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on crypto, so that's what I'm thinking. But I think the right way is to invest in what you believe in. I think that's true to stocks, right? I believe in Netflix, and I believe in Disney, and I believe in Facebook, and I believe in Google. So I buy their stock because I believe long-term in their products. I use their products, I consume their products, my kids consume their products. So I want to invest in those companies. I believe in their success. I think it's the same for crypto and for Bitcoin. So if you actually have Bitcoin, if you understand how Bitcoin blockchain works a bit, if you're excited about it, you should own more of it. And I think there's more and more people who are actually accumulating and hodling more Bitcoin, and that's basically what eventually drives prices up.
All right, well, thank you, Yoni. Seriously, this interview has been extremely enlightening, and it's so exciting to hear about everything from eToro. And just thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you very much, Max.
And for those of you out there who are still interested in eToro, check out eToro on CryptoPotato.com. We have lots of information. And if you like this video, please subscribe. Thanks so much.